So it was a month ago today that Dezi Freeman is alleged to have taken two police officers' life and taken off into the bush. So a month ago today, and we still have absolutely zero evidence. And the police said the last update we have is that they were scaling back operations and they're going to just concentrate on leads. But I'll tell you what, something stands out very peculiar.
All I have in this world is my laws, my word, and I don't break them for
Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another video. And so today we're doing another update on Dezi. And so although the media, the police, nobody has put any updates out since the last update, they said that they were scaling back their process and they're just going to concentrate on leads. Now, all this has done is caused more concern in the public because the public are pissed off and they have had enough with what's going on as it is, and they just want the people gone and they have had enough. But other than that, we haven't really had much going on in the Dezi case, like absolutely zero evidence in the Dezi case. So we had Stanley Murovich was arrested in Myrtleford earlier on this week and released without charge with absolutely zero links to Dezi Freeman whatsoever. And then we had Albino D'Souza just a few days ago was arrested. Now he is a PDF file, and so he was arrested for trying to incite riots and trying to, agree to violent acts against the police. And he was arrested, but he is a PDF file, so that guy is exactly where he needs to be. But I'll tell you what. So about 2 weeks ago, there was something that was said on the media by one of Desmond Freeman's family members that just stuck out as very, very, very odd to me. And we're going to go through it now, and you let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Rightio. So about 2 weeks ago now, so it was 2 weeks ago, the Daily Mail put out this little nugget. And so tell me if something stands out to you guys, what the Sun says in this, because it just doesn't make any sense to me that this is the truth.
You just can't appoint yourself judge, a juror, an executioner.
Police are now getting desperate and have offered a $1 million reward.
It's dangerous thinking because you can fulfill your own prophecy, can't you?
The search for Dezi Freeman has now entered its 16th day. I'm Jonica Bray and I'm a journalist for the Daily Mail. This is the latest on the Dezi Freeman shooting. On Monday, Daily Mail spoke to his son, Koa. He said that his father could already be laying dead. I've just accepted the worst, that's it, he told Daily Mail. I'm doing regular going about work and stuff and taking my mind off it. But he said he was able to survive in the bush alone, comparing him to Rambo. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the movie Rambo, especially the first Rambo movie. It's like that, but 10 times capacity.
Desmond Freeman is armed.
So if you ask me, that right there is two contradicting statements right there. So he says that he believes that his dad is in the ground and he's just going on with his life as normal. So, I just think that is very suspicious that you are just going to consider your father dead and then you're just going to move on with your life like normal as if, your father isn't the most wanted man in the country right now. So that sticks out as very, very concerning. And then in the very next breath, he says that my dad is like Rambo. I don't know if you've seen Rambo, but he's very, very capable of surviving up in the bush. And so ever since this came out, it's kind of stood out to me as something that just didn't make sense. Now, why? Why would he just move on with his life and just accept that his dad was dead? But in the very same breath, say that his dad is like Rambo and is quite capable of surviving out there in the bush. I think that, that itself right there is a little gold nugget. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And once again, this is just my take on it, and this is, you know, this is all evidence that is like relevant, and it is absolutely available to everyone. So this is from the Daily Mail. Just jump on YouTube and you'll find this. So the video is called Dezi Freeman's son reveals explosive theory about his dad, and you will be able to find this.
Armed and dangerous, and presents, as I said, a significant risk to the community.
Police are now getting desperate and have offered a $1 million reward for anyone with information leading to Dezi's safe capture.
As I said, we've had over 1,000 tips since this horrendous crime was committed,
and no real tips have been made since then. So if you have a look still to today, the tips are sitting around the 1,100 mark, and right at this mark right here, it was sitting at 1,000, 1,100. So not really many people are making tips. But that $1 million reward, what people don't understand is the chances of you getting that whole $1 million reward is quite slim, actually. And so, you know, you have to have evidence that leads to a conviction, and so arrest and then conviction. So, you know, a lot of people don't see this money.
Since Saturday, we've had nearly 200 tips come through. And as I said, we are following each and every one of those tips down. And I would appeal again to the community to keep those tips coming. We only need the one tip that will result in the capture of Desmond Freeman.
I have seen the video of the deadly ambush where Dezi Freeman allegedly shot 2 police officers. That ambush happened just over here at his Porapunka property, where he was living in his bus with his wife and children. This manhunt is incredibly difficult because Dezi Freeman has climbed and known these mountains for decades. That, paired with extreme weather conditions, with temperatures dipping below freezing, he is a formidable force. We also heard from Dezi's priest over the weekend.
My name's Father Tony Shalhoub. I'm the pastor here, as well as in Myrtleford, mainly this valley. Yeah, Dezi would come with his family every Sunday. His general demeanour was I thought gentleman. His love of his family was strong.
So this is his pastor saying this, that he was generally a gentleman. And what's always stood out as weird to me is this guy has no violent history whatsoever. So his priors came out just days after, you know, his criminal prior history, and he has 0 violent offences against his name whatsoever.
Was part of the community. That particular Sunday, I just sensed it, and I didn't know a reason, but I sensed that he was just seemed a little agitated. He was jagged in his movements and walking quite quickly, whereas he'd usually just stay around and chat to people, but not that Sunday. I'd never heard of the sovereign citizens until all of this. I knew there was protest arising from the COVID times, and that I knew there were anti-vaxxers. I didn't know it was such a...
So now there's they're saying that there's evidence saying weeks leading up to this that his Facebook posts were getting, you know, increasingly aggressive and whatnot. And to me, it just seems like, you know, like I've grown up around crime and obviously trying to dodge the police until I changed my life, my whole life. And it is very common for police to fit evidence to the narrative, to make it fit towards the narrative. It's not uncommon.
An organised group as such. And I didn't know he belonged to that. The only hint I got of his sense of conspiracy or apocalyptic thinking was when the last Pope died, that was Pope Francis, he said to me, "We're into dangerous times." And I said, "Why?" He said, the next Pope, you know, it could be the Antichrist. I said, "I'll get over it, Dezi." Well, there's conspiracy theories around that It's just so a certain
The next pope can be the Antichrist. Damn, big bloody claim there.
number of popes, then the Antichrist and second coming. But again, it's distorted thinking. It's dangerous thinking because you can fulfill your own prophecy, can't you? But you can't. You just can't appoint yourself judge, a juror, an executioner all in one. That exists within a society. Thank God we don't believe in capital punishment. But in trying to arrest a magistrate, he became the magistrate, the judge. And through his views and the views that were fed by different factional groups.
So I will say this, right? So he obviously, they're saying that he was some kind of a law expert, right? When that's not the case. So all that was a mention, and so it wasn't a hearing. He seemed to believe that that court case he was having was a hearing, and so you have mentions like contest mentions, contest hearings, and so that was a contest mention, and he was under the belief that that court case where he tried to arrest the judge was a contest mention, and so he doesn't a contest hearing, sorry, and he doesn't get to give his evidence in that. And so I will say that he was absolutely wrong in thinking that he could give evidence in that. That wasn't the time to give evidence.
Groups and conspiracy theorists. So he formed his judgments from that, became the juror, and eventually he became the executioner.
Tragically, we also had the funeral of slain cop Neil Thompson. His partner gave a moving tribute at his funeral.
Neil was an incredible man with whom I was privileged to build a life, a partnership, and a family. Words cannot convey the depth of sorrow and grief.
You know, what's even more sad as well is that they found that people had been making fake GoFundMe pages saying that they were the fallen police officers' families, and were raking in like a lot of money out of it. And so, yeah, just be careful where you're putting your money, guys, because a lot of people are doing GoFundMe scams surrounded around this. It's absolutely brutal, you know, and the people's family don't need to go through this bullshit
that his loss brings. And through it all, he taught me how to love without fear and how to be brave when I'm scared. And honey, I am so grateful you did, because I am scared. I don't want to live life without you, and I don't want to finish our dreams on my own. But I will, I promise. I will be brave, I will love you, I will honour you, and cherish every moment that I spent with you.
Well, yeah, there you go. Like I said, that I think that's a little nugget right there, and I just don't think that the son is really believing that, and I think that that's his son just trying to, you know, diffuse the evidence. But like, why would he say in the same breath that he thinks that his father's in the ground, but then in the very same breath say that his father's like Rambo? It just doesn't make sense, and I think there's more to that than is to be. So yeah, like I've said from the start, I believe that the mother and that son right there, because they weren't arrested to the next day, they disappeared, met up with Dezi at an undisclosed location, and got him way the hell out of there. And this is why it is like an absolute joke, because they're spending $1 million per day to be out there and search for Dezi, and they have found zero evidence. And meanwhile, people's houses in Victoria are getting ran through every single day. People are getting robbed in their own houses. We've got a very serious problem going on, and they keep saying we just don't have the funds to fund this youth crime problem. Yet, in the last month, because it was a month ago today that Dezi Freeman took off into the bush and 2 police lives were lost, which means that it's well over $30 million that's been wasted in trying to find Dezi Freeman. And I say wasted because there is absolutely zero evidence. Like, you guys haven't turned up one bit of evidence to say that Dezi Freeman is still in that area. Now, I would have thought this is how searches work, that once you finish with that area, you expand your search and then you leave that area. And it just doesn't really seem like, they've moved their base operations once or twice, but other than that, no real evidence has come. We had Stanley Murovich, like I said, was arrested and released without charge because he had absolutely zero connection to Dezi Freeman. And, and then you had Albino Goodwill D'Souza, the PDF file that was arrested and placed where he needed to be for trying to tell people on social media to attack police, when this guy is banned from social media because he is a PDF file. So if you ask me, that guy's where he needs to be. So that's the only positive news to come out of this Dezi Freeman thing, is that, they locked up a PDF file. But I mean, yeah, other than that, they said they're scaling back the operations, and people in the local communities are still pissed off because they're not scaling back the communities. And, like I said in my other video, people can't even go from their house to the shop without getting pulled over 3 times. All you have to do is jump in the comment sections of my last 3 Dezi Freeman videos, and you'll see comments from the locals saying how pissed off they are that this is going on in their area. But yeah, a month on and still no information about Dezi Freeman. But like I said, I will keep you guys updates with every bit of information that we have on the Dezi Freeman case, which leads me to my next bit. If you guys haven't already and you guys are enjoying my content, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription. It's a good way to show your support, and I really, really appreciate it. And if you smash that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. And as always, don't do drugs and crime and you won't end up in prison.